Hello and welcome to the Diski preview show. It is the midweek edition of the show, and I'll be talking you through some of the big games to look out for this week. I have in my background right now the Betfred website just to show you some of the odds and obviously the statistics for these big games that are coming up. I want to start the conversation with Mamelodi Sundowns taking on Cape Town City. Obviously, this is going to be a big game in any regard, especially for those of you who are fans of the DStv Premiership, also known as the PSL. Now, let's talk more about what you can expect from this big game that's taking place today. Obviously, goals, nothing but goals. This is the first game after Mamelodi Sundowns have been crowned champions of the DStv Premiership, and it's also one big game because of one reason and one reason only. They have just made it through their group stages in the CAF Champions League. They come back to a league they've won. They come back after they've qualified for the next round of the CAF Champions League, which means one thing: they'll be in a good mood, they'll be playing to celebrate, and obviously the fact that this game is also taking place at their home ground does also give them that little bit of a boost to go on and enjoy this one. It's taking place at 7:30. Make sure not to miss it. But just to give you a couple of pointers, win probability in favor of Mamelodi Sundowns sitting at 65%, while we have 13% win probability sitting in favor of Cape Town City. When it comes to form, Mamelodi Sundowns 79% win current form. That's basically down to the fact that they have not lost any matches in their last 10 matches plus. I can't give you the exact number, but I know it's more than 20 matches. When you look at their recent results, they beat Cotton Sport by 2-1. They drew against Al Hilal, and they also managed to beat Royal AM before they beat Al Ahly in that 5-2 demolition. What happens with Mamelodi Sundowns after this game? They go on to play the likes of Swallows, Golden Arrows, and also in the CAF Champions League quarterfinals. So it's going to be a very interesting one. We're going to be enjoying some good football when it comes to Mamelodi Sundowns in the near future. But for myself, this one had to be very obvious. I have to give it to none other than Mamelodi Sundowns. Right, you're watching the Diski preview show here on YouTube, brought to you by and powered by Betfred South Africa. You can go on to our website at betfred.co.za and place your bets. Don't forget to hit the join now button so that you can access all kinds of price boosts and interesting specials. We get down to business, and this one is a big one. Chelsea versus Liverpool. If I was you, would not want to miss out on an opportunity to place my bet on this game. It's taking place in the 30th round of the Premier League. In fact, it's a catch-up game that's supposed to play, and we have to look at it in terms of, if you're looking at it for it on the website in terms of stats, you'll have to use not the weeks function, but the months, so you can find the game you're looking for. But yes, this game takes place tonight. It's going to be a big one. Chelsea versus Liverpool, two teams that have been struggling in recent times, and like Jurgen Klopp came out to say in a press conference that his team in particular have not been able to get the results they desired this season. They have not been the team they wanted to be this season. But this is a catch-up game, and this game will be taking place tonight, later on. I'm not sure. I'm recording today, which is tomorrow for you, which is today for those that are watching at home. So yes, Liverpool and Chelsea, two teams that if right now you were to put head to head, you can always find some really interesting stats regarding both these sides. That's exactly what I'm about to do. Chelsea is the home team, and then we also have their opponents, which is Liverpool, who is their away side. So this is the nice thing about the stats website. the stats page on our website. You can always go on. If you can't find the fixture, just go for the head-to-head. Win probability sits straight through the middle. Don't forget, Chelsea just lost their manager, which does affect their win probability. But Liverpool themselves have not had a good run of form lately. And this also boils down to the fact that Liverpool have not been able to play their strongest side in a long time. But also looking at their form, Liverpool's current form is 36%. With 3 back-to-back losses in a row. While Chelsea, on the other hand, they have a win, a draw, and a loss in their last 3 matches, which does paint a picture of a team that's currently struggling. When you take it into the last matches they've played, as you can see, Aston Villa, the last team to beat Chelsea, while Chelsea drew out to Everton, and they managed to beat Leicester City, who also lost their manager, Brendan Rodgers. For Liverpool, on the other side, they played Manchester City and lost by 4-1. Before that, they played Bournemouth and Real Madrid. They lost both those games by a 1-goal deficit. This comes after a larger-than-life result with a 7-0 win over Manchester United. So For Liverpool, mixed fortunes, but right now 3 losses in a row. Liverpool will be praying for better days as they go on to face Chelsea tonight. They go on to face Arsenal in the weekend, and they also have Leeds United, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, and Tottenham Hotspur still to come. While for Chelsea, it's Wolves, Real Madrid next in the Champions League. Liverpool were knocked out by Real Madrid, remember that. Brighton, Real Madrid, and Brentford once again. So for both these sides, I think a lot of pressure will be on Chelsea's shoulders. Whoever is the manager right now, the interim manager, he'll be looking to the Champions League fixtures, having to plan how he's going to maneuver a match against Real Madrid. But just to summarize it all, with this one, I'm going to have to go with a draw in this game. I think it's going to be cut through the middle. I don't think anyone is going to run away with it. And even if you look at how these teams have been looking in terms of their league positions the whole season, it has not been looking good for either of them. Chelsea were above Liverpool for some time, but since we are match day 15, Liverpool have been able to rise above Chelsea, but they have not been able to break into the top 4. Imagine you're looking at a graph for Liverpool and Chelsea, and none of them were able to secure a spot in the top 4 this season. Liverpool's top goal scorer remains Mo Salah with 12 goals in 27 matches, while Firmino is second top goal scorer with 8 goals in 20 matches. Darwin Núñez, 21 games, 8 goals, while Kai Havertz, Sterling, and Mount. Sterling, who's now left the club, he has, I don't know why, Sterling is actually at, sorry, I thought we were talking about Manchester City. Sterling has 19 games played and 4 goals scored. So that's how it goes into this one. For this one, simply going to go with Liverpool. Another match you cannot miss out on this week is a big game, and this one involves Real Madrid and Barcelona. Don't forget, this is the return leg at the Camp Nou of the Copa del Rey. And look, what can we say? All we can do is point to the stats and try and find the winner. In recent times, it looks that Barcelona has been dominating this game. But before I rush down to the bottom to look at that, just remember that Barcelona have a 42% win probability going into this game, with Real Madrid sitting on 30%. When you talk about both these sides' head-to-head record, Barcelona 2 goals scored, 1. They beat. Barcelona beat Real Madrid by 2-1 the last time they met in La Liga. And in the semi-finals, the first leg of this game at the Bernabeu, Barcelona managed to beat Real Madrid once again. If you're looking at this chart here as to when was the last time Real Madrid were able to beat Barcelona, you'd have to go back all the way to 2022, and you'll see on the 16th of October, that was the last time Real Madrid managed to beat Barcelona. Barcelona are now on a streak of 3 games unbeaten against Real Madrid, so everybody will be looking to Real Madrid to either topple this dominance by the Catalonians, or maybe, in fact, Barcelona might make it 4 games in a row without losing to Real Madrid. Real Madrid, after they beat Liverpool and knocked them out of the Champions League, they played a game against Valladolid. This is the last game they played in La Liga, and as you can see, they won that game by 6-0. That was on the weekend. This is a midweek fixture, so they'll be coming into this game on the confidence of scoring 6 goals, and Benzema also being ripe on form. For Barcelona on the other side, they beat Elche by 4-0, which makes them look good at this moment in time. They look like their weight in gold. So definitely, if you're going to be placing your bets on this one, remember those facts. And I think for this one, I'm just going to go with a double chance if I was you, because it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a lot of pressure. It's taking place in a cup competition. Real Madrid have not beat Barcelona in the last 3 games, so there'll be a lot of pressure for both sides. So I'm going to go with a double chance, maybe a Right, our journey with the football takes us all the way to Italy, where we're going to find the Coppa Italia taking place this week. And you won't believe it. I was looking around. I'm like, what's happening in April? And guess what? Juventus are going to be facing Inter Milan. Big game in any regard, big game in any conversation. Whether Juventus are sitting to bottom of the table, second division, is still a big game in the context of Italian football. And Juve versus Inter is taking place at the Allianz Stadium, where Juve calls that stadium home. And as you can see, 41% win probability for Juve, while Inter Milan come into this game with a 30% win probability. But I wanted to take you into their recent form against each other. As you can see, Inter have lost their last game to Juventus by 1-0, but Juve have been dominating Inter for about just 2 games now. Before that, Inter wore the pants in that relationship. As you can see, they've met in the Serie A twice, and in those 2 meetings, Inter were not able to get the better of their opponents, Juventus. This was in the Serie A. But in the Coppa Italia, last time out, Juve lost to Inter by 4-2 in overtime. So clearly, the dominance for cup competition and league competition is not the same when it comes to these two teams. As you can see that this season, Juve have been able to beat Inter back-to-back in the league. But when you look at cup competitions, just from last year, Coppa Italia 2022, in the final, it took overtime, and it was a 4-2 win for Inter Milan. Now, when you're talking about recent form, Juve coming to this game on the back of a win and another win and another win. Yes, they managed to beat Verona, Inter Milan, Freiburg, Sampdoria, and Freiburg once again, and they lost out to Roma 6 games ago. So clearly they come into this game brimming with winning form, while Inter Milan themselves lost out to Fiorentina last time out, and they basically on a streak of 2 games without a win. That came after they lost to 2-1-0 results to Fiorentina and Juventus. So clearly both these two teams have contrasting form, and that kind of informs why the win probability would be leaning in Juventus' favor and not Inter Milan's favor. So with my prediction for this game, I'm definitely just going to go and weigh in the direction of the win probability and say that Juventus will definitely be picking up a result in this one. But because it's a 2-legged game, you might have to want to take the double chance, because in these first legs, you're definitely going to see some goals, or maybe you might see some very held back, some very non-ambitious football, as both teams try to protect the clean sheet and not concede any unnecessary goals going into the second leg where they'll want to win this game. So clearly, for me, it's going to be a double chance. It's either going to be Juve with the win or a draw. So that's definitely what I'm going to go for, especially bearing in mind that Inter are on 2 games without a win, and one of those games include a 1-0 win or 1-0 loss to Juventus. So definitely bear that in mind. I'm going to go with a Juve win or a draw. Let's go.